Okay, we might as well start a half a minute earlier. My name is Ron. I'm an alcoholic. Hey, welcome to the Conscious Contact Speaker Group. It's a pretty amazing night we got going on here. We got Chris R. from Texas, and hopefully we can squeeze you in. We only have seating for like 1,000, and we've got standing room only. They'll listen to that on the tape, right? Anyway, our Facebook page, you probably already know about it, but there's probably some people that don't. We have our own Facebook page with this group, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Doylestown, and keeps us not only connected here with this group that goes on, but if you have any events, things that are going on with AA, please post them there. Keeps everybody connected. It's up and down the whole East Coast. I always tell people, if you're bored in AA, I mean, you miss it because Facebook really connects things, if you're willing to go after this. What else can I tell you? Oh, our sister group is a Big Book Study. Meets in Salem, UCC Church, where the workshop was today. Meets on Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. We're a Big Book group. We try to study that book and try to live it and apply it to ourselves on a daily basis. If you like that, come over. I always say we go an hour without a complaint or a profanity. It's pretty cool. If you've never experienced that, come over. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Brian's going to come up here and share, and hopefully we don't kill nobody tonight, all right?
Thank you, Ron. Good to be here tonight. Good to be sober. I just want to say it's been a pleasure to be of service to this group over the past 2 years, and thank you to everybody for being here tonight for keeping me sober. Welcome to the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. My name is Brian, and I am an alcoholic. This is a 1-hour speaker meeting that meets every Saturday at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, 301 North Main Street, 830 in Doylestown, PA. The business meeting for this group meets here every Saturday, 7 p.m. to 7:30. The purpose of this group is to provide a consistent message of hope and recovery through God reliance and service to others through the practice and teachings of the 12 steps. We record all speakers so that others can benefit from their message of recovery. If you wish not to be recorded, simply ask. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. The group would like to welcome everyone, especially newcomers. If there's anybody new or from out of town that would like to introduce themselves on a first-name basis, so we can welcome you.
My name is Justin. I'm an alcoholic.
Justin, welcome.
Crystal, alcoholic.
Crystal. Welcome.
Bob, alcoholic.
Welcome.
I'm Rob, alcoholic.
Rob. In the back there.
Holden, I'm an alcoholic.
Holden. Bill. Rich.
Antonio, I'm alcoholic.
Antonio, welcome. Who we not get? Over here, sorry.
John, alcoholic.
John, welcome. There you go, here. Christina. Back there.
Maria, alcoholic.
Maria, welcome. Stefan, welcome. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in.
Welcome. Yeah. William, welcome. Who else we got? We get everybody? Sean, welcome. All right, cool. The Conscious Contact Speaker Group encourages sponsorship. Would anyone with a working knowledge of the 12 steps and that is willing to sponsor, please raise their hands. Okay, so if you're new here, we got sponsors. You know, if you're new, you're just getting into this thing, grab one of those people after the meeting. I'm sure they'll be hanging out for a while, so grab one of those people. Will help you get into the solution a little bit. Are there any announcements for the good of AA? Nothing from anybody? Okay, a couple quick announcements for this group. We have meeting lists. We have big books on easy terms. Please see me or any home group member before or after the meeting. If you cannot afford a big book, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group will give you one at no charge. Anyone willing to make donations for the purchase of big books and CDs to help those who cannot afford them can put their donations in the jar on the back table marked Big Book and CD donations. If you would like a CD of any speaker, past or present, see me or Ron before or after the meeting. They are available free of charge. And with that, I believe Krista is going to come up here. She's going to read the AA preamble.
Hi everybody, I'm Krista Vinci. I'm coming to you from the Primary Purpose Group of North Ocean City, Maryland. And my sober date's October 30th, 1989. This is the preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy. Neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And can I have Eric to come up here and read the 12 steps, please?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric. I'm an alcoholic. All right. The AA 12 Steps of Recovery. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, we humbly asked Him to remove all our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Now I'm going to have Brian come back up to introduce our speaker for this evening. Thank you.
At this time, seventh tradition, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. At this time, we're going to pass the basket. There are no dues or fees for AA membership, but we do have expenses, and your contributions help us to cover the cost of rent, big books, CDs, workshops like this, the refreshments in the back, so contributions are greatly appreciated. There is no smoking on church property. It's the church's policy. We get this beautiful facility to hold this meeting in on a weekly basis, and that's really all they ask of us, is that we keep the premises clean. So please just help us out with that as you're coming and going. Be considerate of that. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones and limit movement during the meeting to avoid distractions. And now to introduce our speaker for tonight, a good friend of the Conscious Contact Speaker Group. Please help me welcome Chris Raymer from Texas.
Thank you, brother. I love that little sheep. He's my friend. My name is Chris Raymer. I'm very grateful, recovered alcoholic. I got 2 seats up here, guys. Y'all run all at once to get them. Okay. There is 2 up there. Nobody's sitting in them. I am delighted to be here. My wife, Patty, said tell y'all hi. She's a Yankee. I married her, and oh my gosh. I called her earlier because a bunch of y'all had asked about her. I'm never coming back up to the Northeast unless she's here. It's crazy. She loves it up here. She got tied up with work, so she couldn't make it. She was supposed to be here, but she didn't. So anyway, I ate pizza. Every time I ate pizza this weekend, I called her and told her what I made it. Yeah, we don't eat pizza in Texas. So yeah, y'all don't eat barbecue up here. You shouldn't. I'm going to just tell you.
Sorry about that.
It's a depth perception thing. I am one-eyed. This is just... It's going to be a short talk. I'm just telling you that. I'm delighted. Guys, I thank Ron and Gabunch for asking, and got anybody on the committee that had anything to do with me getting up here? Miss Carolyn picked me up at the airport and drove just like a Yankee. Oh my God. Coming from Newark down here in the pouring rain and just driving like a bat out of hell. It's like I'm hanging on with both hands. Dear God, I've led a good life. Please don't let me die up here. I was like, man, you're pros. I'm telling you. Brian's been hauling me around. God, just bless everybody. This is a big deal. We did workshop. How many of y'all were at the workshop today? Bunch of y'all weren't at the workshop. Bunch of slackers? Okay. That's good. That's good. Well, we talked about a lot of stuff during the steps. I got to share with Chris and Chris S. And what a hoot. You know, getting to share the podium with somebody that's on the same page is always fun. I mentioned it this morning. Sharing the podium with somebody that's not on the same page is torture. I'm up here talking about working the steps quickly, and they're talking about, well, just choose not to drink one day at a time. That's how I lost this eye. I'm just kidding. I mentioned it this morning. I'll keep going back just 1 second and just tell you, everybody, that those of you that weren't with us today, I got you for an hour. There's a big old clock back up there. Even I with one eye can see that clock. And so I'm gonna go, an hour, a little less, hopefully. And I'm just here to share my experience with you guys. And I've started saying this every time I speak because I just want to make sure y'all are. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, and I'm perfectly okay with the fact that you may not agree with some of the stuff I'm saying. I'm up here to share my experience. Okay, it's not your experience. It's just God, it's amazing. Y'all, I mean, literally, y'all love me until I say something you don't agree with. Well, why not, son, bitch? I just don't agree with it. What? No, where's the love? You know what? I got to tell a story. I always thought we were at International a few years ago in Atlanta, and we were heading back to the airport Saturday morning, and we're on one of those trains coming back, and we didn't even go to the closing deals. We were exhausted. We'd done all the AA we wanted, AA, and we're a bunch of anonymous people. Everybody's running around with balloon AA hats on, and it was amazing. There was nothing anonymous about that weekend at all. We had a great time. We're up there. Some of y'all in here I met there, and it was a hoot. But we're coming back on this little train, and it's packed, it's crowded, going back to the airport, and this little lady gets on, this older lady, and she's got this little young one, around the neck, like a oh my God. And she gets on, and it's obviously this is her sponsee, and so, I get up, of course, and let her sit there, and I'm holding on like we do in the subway. Patty showed me how to ride a subway in New York. I know. Come on. I do it really well. I just need to tell you. I'm sitting there like that looking at this lady sitting there. She says, she reaches over and pats this girl's hand. She said, now remember, honey, don't worry about it. Just don't get overwhelmed. All you got to do is work one step a year, and to get this is not a race. And of course, I'm looking at this girl like, oh my God. And Patty's looking at me because I'm close enough to thump her right on the head. And I've said this all over the world, guys. I'm thinking at the same moment, though, this lady loves Alcoholics Anonymous as much as I do. And I'm not going to stand up here and be critical of that. If that's what's working for her, rock on. Don't tell her how many people she's going to kill in that length of time, but I'm not here to take anybody's inventory or try. Guys, do it the way it works for you. I have this passion, guys, because my story is it took me a bunch of years. I nearly died sitting in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm a meeting-making fool, and I'll tell you a little bit about that story. But I also work in the treatment business for about 27 years, do clerical work for a hospital. And I'm up there watching these guys come in, and they're looking up on the wall, and they say that it's about the time the last Ativan wears off, and they're looking up here, and they go, oh, shit. I said, what? And he says, man, the steps. I thought for this kind of money, we'd do something different. Surprise! We only know one thing that works, buddy. You're going to get a lot of stuff here, but this is where we're going to... He says, oh, man, no. I've tried AA. It doesn't work. A lot of people believe that. I get so tired of seeing stuff on the internet about how AA doesn't work, and then if you get with them and talk to them for a few minutes, you find out they've never actually done AA at all. They did the same thing I did for 7 years. Just go to a bunch of damn meetings. meetings don't treat alcoholism. Nowhere in this book does it say if you go to a meeting every day, you'll stay sober. It might work for you. So with the gym. Get a date. Oh my God. It seems to work for some people. But if that stuff's not working for you, come with us. You know, it's a pretty cool deal, guys. That's all I'm saying. So let me share my experience with you a little bit, and I'm just blessed to be here. I'm kind of overwhelmed. I got to tell you, there's some people in this room. I've known some of you in here for years and years and years. It's just wonderful. God dang, y'all are getting old, and God dang, I never planned on being this old. I guarantee you. I was born out in West Texas. Odessa, Texas. My father printed a drilling magazine out there. He was a printer, lithographer, talented son of a gun. And this is where I lost my eye, was out in West Texas. There's nothing to do out there. But look for sheep? No. We didn't. And I got in a rock fight with a little kid. I'm 11 years old and picked a rock fight with this high school kid out there and didn't duck fast enough and got hit me out with a rock. And a lot of y'all don't know that. And I needed a scotch of whiskey so bad at 11 o'clock. I mean, I'm 11 years old. I mean, I was convinced I would have had 2 eyes if I'd had it because I was irritable, restless, and discontent. What the hell was I doing out there picking a rock fight with a big old high school kid? Bless his heart. Changed my life for the better. I got to tell you that. Some of you guys in here that are having trouble getting a date, go get you an eye patch. Y'all laugh. Okay. I know. I bet you there's more than one of these little knuckleheads leave tonight and go look for an eye patch. I'm just saying. That's just a free tip for you. Pops couldn't get us out of there fast enough, though. He wanted to get with the water. He's a fisherman. He liked to fish. And he was an alcoholic, too, but he was the kindest, gentlest man you'd ever come across. He was an absolute sweetheart. And he moved us to Kerrville, Texas, which is about 60 miles west of San Antonio. Right? Central Texas, Austin, San Antonio, Kerrville, that whole little area in there. And hill country. It looks a lot like Pennsylvania, except not as neat. And God, y'all live in a beautiful place. I love this neck of the woods. And I'm like one of those tourists. The first time I went to New York, I'm just hate it. You know, if you're not from Texas, screw you. You know, and it's just, and I'll never forget getting on that subway in Times Square, and I'm like, holy, you know, ate a falafel. Bought an I Love New York t-shirt. I still have it. Okay, I'm just telling you. I just love it. Anyway, being up in the north. I've got a twin brother, identical twin brother, Myers. Some of y'all know him. He's going to speak up here somewhere soon. And he's a good little egg. And we're always thick as thieves. And I've got a sister and a half-sister. And they never had a problem with alcohol. Mom never had a problem. She drank a glass of white wine every night until the day she died. And that was what she did. She'd drink a glass of white wine, and every once in a while she'd pour one, and she'd look, and she had little bony fingers about that long, and she'd take that glass of wine and slide it across the table. I said, Mom, what's drink up? She says, no. It tastes a bit off. I've said it from a million podiums. I don't care if there's a dead cricket floating in it. You think I'm drinking for the taste? I mean, come on, guys. We drank some stuff out there, you know. I don't care how it picked the little critters out of it and drink it. You know, she never had a problem. My little sister's raised in the same family. No goofy stuff. Front row of the Baptist church every time the door was open. Mom was a world-renowned artist. M. Lois Raymer. She was literally famous. And we became high profile. We're identical twins. And there was a lot of attention in our family. And because Pops had a little drinking problem, we were a little concerned, and we made up a deal early on that we weren't going to be like Pops. We just weren't. We're going to watch it, pay attention. We weren't going to drink, and made a lot of promises before it was all said and done, I guess. But good God, I leaned up against one of those big old cypress trees in Kerrville, big old 700-year-old cypress trees. And a friend of mine had bought a bottle of Boone's Farm apple wine. Not this big one, just a bottle about this big, little. And although hippies in here just orgasmed when I said that. Boone's Farm apple wine. Somebody said they still made it. Some of you little knuckleheads at Relapse, go get some next time. It'll get you downtown quick, I got to tell you. Don't spill it on the carpet, because I guarantee it won't come out. But Boone's Farm apple wine. We took a big old, this is 1971. The January 1971 was when our co-founder Bill Wilson passed away, and I took my first drink. In hindsight, looking back, and I'll never forget it, sitting up against that tree and drank that. And my buddy I was drinking with decided he didn't want it because it tasted like crap. And I said, yeah, it tasted not like I anticipated, but let me get this straight. You don't want any more of this. This is the first time I got this enough to the phenomenon of craving. I mean, I didn't know anything about that. Oh my God, I just drank it and all of a sudden got thirsty. And it's like, I'm going to finish this bottle, and I did. And I need to tell you guys, I walked back across that field, big old full moon out there in North Texas, and I'm sitting there with a big grin on my face and just kind of smiling, and went home. I said, this is why Pops drinks. Now, I didn't ever had drinks before, anything. I didn't know what this was about. Didn't rob a liquor store, didn't take my clothes off, didn't do anything stupid. I just got right. Our family members don't understand that, guys. They think what we're doing is partying. You just need to quit partying so much. Hon, this is stop being a party a million years ago. This is about getting comfortable in your skin. When alcohol worked for me, you couldn't touch me. I mean, guys, I was drinking through the disco era. That's pretty special, I gotta tell you. Okay. Come on, guys, but when it worked, I was a better salesman, I could work better, I did everything better with alcohol. And it's like, people just don't understand it. I'm drinking. If I could drink it and drink just enough to get to that right spot, I'd be drinking today. So would most, yeah. I hear people in AA all the time just that don't know. I hate alcohol. I don't. I don't like where it took me, that's for sure. My twin brother and I loaded up a VW Beetle about it was early on, 1972, when we graduated, and we went to Houston, Texas. We had a bumper sticker on the back of that VW Beetle. He said, "Get drunk and be somebody." And we did, and we were. And we just headed off, and I got a job as an apprentice at the Houston Oaks Hotel. I wanted to be a chef for years. Now, those chefs were back there in the back, and they looked so cool, and they had the little, whites, and it was just, oh my God. And they were drinking on the job, and there was rumor that some of those cooks were actually having sex. Which was a big draw for a little skinny one-eyed guy, I know. There's no kids in here. Come on, guys. Lighten up. Okay. He was a bartender. Got a job at a big old fancy bar there in Houston, Texas, and it was match made in heaven. We had a little apartment we shared with 4 other guys, and we had 2 beanbag chairs and some, green shag carpet. Oh my God, it couldn't get any better than that. I mean, what the hell? Trim line phone. Remember the days? Okay. Ugh. Avocado appliances. Oh, yeah. And we're doing okay, guys. I'm going to tell you, I had a little window of opportunity, and I had a little window when things were absolutely going well. I'm not getting in trouble. I'm over drinking sometimes, occasionally. I'd hurl occasionally, but I'm not getting in any kind of trouble at all. I'm working at a job. I'm working overtime. Most of us as alcoholics, buddies, I'm going to tell you, we're damn good workers. Sober us up. You got a fine hand on you, but. One of the things that starts to take place so early on is I'm starting to experience this thing called depression. And I'm starting to see a doctor in Houston, Texas about this depression. I don't know why I'm drinking so much. It's not really causing me a problem, but I'm not understanding that alcohol is a depressant. So I'm just adding fuel to the damn fire. And the number one symptom of untreated alcoholism, friends, is depression. A lot of you guys end up going to treatment, getting put on an antidepressant. Some of you need them. I'm just saying a lot of us don't. A lot of us is just untreated alcoholism. And so, but I'm seeing docs and I've got medications and I'm trying to get well but I'm holding it together pretty good. I'm quitting a lot of jobs. I've never been fired from a single job. I quit 34 jobs. Jesus, that's the time of year I even think you're going to say something about my drinking. I'm out the door. But I'm pretty talented, folks, and I can get a job by the afternoon. I never went any time without working. It's just the nature of the beast. And I'm in and out. I travel. I went to Austin, Texas one night. I called my mom and says, "Man, maybe you could send me some money because I need to get the hell out of Houston. I'm drinking a little bit too much and I'm having a little problem." And she said, "Well, where do you want to go?" And I said, "Well, I got a chef's job a sous chef's job in Austin, Texas." And of course, they don't drink in Austin, Texas. And 2 years later, I went to Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, hot Atlanta. What a place. It was great. Till I found out they didn't sell booze on Sundays. What kind of rule is that? What kind of law is that? You can't drink. But it didn't last long in Atlanta. I came back to Texas. I start this geographical back to Houston. I'm going everywhere I go. You know, I'm looking for a change. We did this little drawing on the board today, little issue man. This idea that if I can change this external stuff, I can stay sober. And it's still most of the people that come to treatment believe if I can just change this, and this, and this, I can stay sober, which is absolute 100% crap. Because everywhere you go, every job you change to, every new relationship you get into, guess who's there? Me. You're in trouble again. Genetically predisposed, folks. You're not going to get rid of it by changing your external circumstances. It's going to gradually get worse. I'm drinking a 12-pack and going to work, not having a problem. Everything's good. But then as you drink longer and the illness continues to progress, your tolerances start to lose. And anyway, I'm in a little hot water and hating my job and don't want to be in the city anymore. And I made a deal with God one night, sitting out there by the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Y'all ever seen that thing? We just drove by it. Wednesday I was in Houston. Astrodome right here, and they got this big new arena next to it. It's like, how could anything get bigger than the Astrodome? Eighth wonder of the world, you know, and it's just like, holy, this looks like an IHOP now. You know, it's just small. I'm sitting there in the shadows of that deal drinking in the old bar where my brother's tending bar, and I asked him, I said, God, there's a cocktail waitress in there. She was a sweetheart. And I said, God, if you'll let me marry that girl, I'll quit drinking. And she married me. And I didn't quit drinking. She sure deserved better than me. I drug her up to North Texas to be closer to my twin brother, and I got an executive chef's job in a hotel up there and doing real well. Outside looking good, just bought a new house. And I've got this. I'm on a whole bunch of medications. Seeing a psychiatrist for issues. I came home one night. I discovered this stuff called, what's it called? Cocaine. This is the 80s, guys. Everybody discovered cocaine. Don Johnson, remember? Okay. And of course, she didn't know about the cocaine. I'm just saying, this is an outside issue. We're not here to talk about that. But I did a bunch of that stuff and drank all afternoon long and came home and I was a little on the loaded side. Had a verbal conflict of something. I don't remember what the fight was about still to this day, but I remember shoving her. I had enough of that nonsense and I pushed her. And I come from a family where we just don't do that. Y'all just ever. What the? It scared me to death, freaked me out, and it freaked her out. I left, came back. She let me in the house. A few hours later, I'd sobered up enough. And I got honest with her for the first time. I told her about the outside issue stuff and told her how much I'd been drinking. And she said, buddy, you know, if you want to stay married to me, you got to quit. Guys, there's a couple of things in my story I can't not tell, and this is one of them. All right? When I looked her in the eyes and told her that I was going to stop drinking, I meant it with every fiber in my body. So many of us, guys, we end up in the bathroom with medicine cabinet window and the door locked with tears in our eyes, crying our eyes. I just think, I can't keep doing this. I have got to stop. Nobody's blowing smoke up anybody's butt at that particular point. What I didn't understand is I didn't have the power to manage the decision to stay stopped. It's what drives me crazy when we talk to people in our program who believe that all we have to do is make up our mind not to drink and stay sober. That's like, buddy, if you can do that, the big book says you're not one of us. You're welcome. I don't like you, but you're welcome. God, help us. When I told her I was going to quit, I meant it, okay? But I need to let everybody know that because I knew a lot of family members think, well, if an alcoholic's mouth moving, he's lying. That's just disrespectful and it's not true. Stop. You're painting a picture that we're all a bunch of misfits. There's some people in this room that have never told the truth ever because you're evil. Oh, it's got nothing to do with being an alcoholic. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about, okay. They said a week and a half later, I guess it wasn't even 2 weeks later, the executive, the other guy asked me if I could stay after and go over some function sheets. And I said, yes. He dropped a beer down in front of me, and I drank the beer. We finished the function sheets. I went home. She smelled it. That girl had a nose like a bloodhound. She smelled it. I got out of the car, and she said, and went to the bedroom and packed. See, my idea with her wasn't that I wasn't going to come home drunk. My idea with her was that I wasn't going to touch another drop. I called Alcoholics Anonymous. I was going to some meetings. I spent the next 7 years trying to stay sober. Going to meetings up in North Texas. Steps and traditions on the wall, no big books in the place, and nobody's talking about God or the steps. We're talking about your cat. Poor cat. And we talked about it today, and I got to reiterate. It's like there's the fourth tradition allows us to set meetings up any way we want, and I think some of these meetings are really good. If you want to go talk about your day, or the big book says we set aside one night a week for the newcomer to come bring their problems. I just think that's a great idea. Let's do that 6 days a week. Can we have one night a week where we study the literature? No, not where I got sober. Okay, there may have been some big book meetings up there. Who knew where they were? I didn't know anything about it. I'm the newcomer. I don't know the questions to ask. Where's the old guy that's going to grab me around the neck and take me to the solution? I'm not blaming them. I have to take responsibility for that. But I got to tell you guys, nobody in all those years, I didn't have a sponsor. I didn't own a big book. I'm in and out of IOPs. You follow? I'm still seeing a counselor. And I'm on 7 prescription medications a day. All doctor prescribed. I'm not out there doctor shopping like some of you losers. These are for my real medical needs. Holy moly. I mean, I'm a zombie. 7 years in and out is the same meeting that we always go to, guys, and I'll tell you that. It's like we walk into the rooms like that, and oh, we got a newcomer coming back. Let's tell Chris how we got here. And then we're going to go around in the little tables all the way around, everybody smoking 6 or 7 cigarettes at one time, and just ceilings getting lower, and we tell Chris how we got here. You tell all your goddamn war stories, and how many times you've had a drunk driving charge, and this guy just got out of prison after killing 15 people, and what? And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, thanks for sharing from the heart. I appreciate that. And I'm making this mental note. I am in a room full of absolute losers. We're killing people with this nonsense. Listen, guys, Friday night, you better have a story. Next week, whoever gets up here, get a good one. Make up some shit. It doesn't make any difference. What? Some people identify with it. Some people won't identify with it. I'm just saying, in a meeting, when you got a newcomer coming back, can anybody tell me, is it possible, on the outside chance, that you could ever wake up for the rest of your life and not want to drink? But we can't talk about that because we're too busy talking about your 15,000th DWI. We kill more people in Alcoholics Anonymous with these stupid war stories than anything else. You are free to disagree. But I listen to them till the cows come home. That nice lady sitting in the front row with a $600 Louis Vuitton bag in her hand, y'all follow? She is not going to stay around while you talk about chopping small animals up. Nobody said, what? Heard it. What? Everybody starts one-upping each other. Well, I had 15 DWIs. Well, I went to that. I went out. And it's like, it's not me. I'm going to a job every day. I've never been late for work. I've never been fired from... How are you going to tell that guy living in a $500,000 house on the hill that his life is unmanageable? Because his life externally is not unmanageable. But that's all we talk about in those stupid ID meetings. I'm getting there, guys. In 1987, I'm working for my twin brother, and he owns a big old book bindery up in North Texas. And I'm working on the shop floor with him. I'm a pretty good worker, but I can't cook anymore. My mind, I can't stand that long. I got kidney damage and liver damage, and I'm a mess. And and he knows it because he's drinking with me, but he's not. I don't know. He's not doing some of the stuff I'm doing. But anyway. I went home one night and picked up a stack of return checks. I've stopped going to Alcoholics Anonymous because it obviously doesn't work. I can't pick up a 30-day chip. And I do great for 2 weeks. Can y'all relate? I can put the plug in the jug for 2 weeks. It's, for me, it's my MO. It's different for different people. But this internal condition starts to come back about 2 weeks. I get depressed again, and the fear comes out and drives my butt, and I'm just irritable, restless, and discontent, and flipping people off on the damn freeway, and I am not okay. I just need a little something to knock the edge off. Yeah, did you hear it? Yeah. Only alcoholics understand that. And that's what I do. In my little head, eventually he'll tell me it's okay. You can smoke a joint. I hate pot. What? It's the worst drug on earth. Why would anybody smoke that shit? Come on, Thomas. Horny and paranoid. It's terrible. Staying naked in the closet. But I can't drink because I promised I'm not going to drink anymore, but I'm still going to do this. I remember one time the chef came over and said, "Chris, you can't drink on the job anymore. We're having some complaints on the wait staff. You're being a little rough with them. You can't do that anymore." So I go a couple of days and don't drink. And then about the third or fourth day, I'm out there by the dumpster, and the little busboys are out there. It says, "Here, man, you want some of these pills?" I said, "What are they? What is that?" He says, "These are horse tranquilizers, man." Really? It was not a good night for me, okay? I couldn't drink, so I'm just saying. I'm on the line, the orders are coming in. I'm going to drink again. I'm just going to go back to the alcohol. At least I know what that shit will do. So, I got home and picked up a stack of return checks at night, and I'm miserable, guys. I'm living in a town I don't want to live in, a little crappy apartment by myself. I got a couple of stinky ferrets in there and an ivy, and I'm just. Somebody in AA told me to buy a plant. Learn how to take care of a plant first. Don't worry about those stupid steps. We'll plant. Okay. And I ended up. The rent check was bounced. I'm going to have to go to my sister-in-law and borrow some money to cover that check. I'm 35 years old and I'm bankrupt in another checking account. I'm living from paycheck to paycheck. I hate my life. I got no relationship going on. I'm miserable. I'm pushed everybody away. Even the drunks won't hang out with me. That wife that left, she said the first time, she said, "Chris, I'm not leaving because you're an alcoholic. I'm leaving because I hate to be around. You're so depressed all the time." That's the truth. I'm just miserable. And here I am. I have been to treatment. I'm on 7 medications a day. I've been dipped, dumped, neutered, and spayed trying to stay sober. Sat naked in sweat lodges. Been in the church built like a teepee, a little pyramid thing. Oh my gosh, I've done everything. Did colonics. I didn't stay sober, but my complexion was awesome. I'm following instructions. If you'd have told me to shave my head and go to Africa and be a missionary and then quit, I would have done it. I'm doing everything you're asking me to do in AA. I'm keep coming back. and I'm not getting well. I'm getting worse. Tried to commit suicide that night. I heard a voice that said, don't do this, go back to AA, and I'm arguing with the voice because I don't want to go back to AA. Just like those people coming out of treatment. I've done AA. Thank you very much. It doesn't work. I believe I was intervened on, though. I made myself sick that night. I made a commitment I was going to go back to AA the next day. 6 o'clock the next night, I'm running late, and there's a meeting close to where the book bindery was. It was between me and my apartment. Kentucky Fried Chicken in my apartment. I just, boom, I was going to go detox the weekend. And I went to this meeting I'd never been to before. It's the second piece I can't not tell. I walked in the back door of that meeting. I parked in the back so nobody would know I'm coming back, right? I'm like, this is anonymous. We're all secret. Is it any wonder we can't get any respect from anybody out there because we act like this is a cult of some kind? We're going to go hide out in some room. We have an absolutely 100% diagnosable illness. American Medical Association called it a disease since 1961. The same symptoms in you, the same symptoms in me. Same. We're going to go in and pretend that we don't have it. I just get a little tired of the anonymity. Public level, let's be anonymous. In our own groups, you want to get on my just bad side, introduce yourself with your last initial. Excuse me? Bill Wilson wrote some great articles about it. In specific, he says, you can be as anonymous as you want in the group. We don't advise it. I'll send you the article. These are the people that are going to save your life. You don't need to be anonymous in our own group. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to work with others in order to stay sober. In order to do that, we need to break our anonymity so people can know who we are. I'll just throw that out there to you. I thought I was being clever because I parked behind and nobody would know I'm going back. Found out later I was on the prayer list of every church in North Texas. First and last name. My mom was so good about it. I walked in that back room of that place, and again, and there's a big old crowded room, and I couldn't, trying to get the coffee in the back, and I couldn't even quite get back there, and I'm a mess, and the chairperson sees me and said, Chris, welcome back, come on up here to the front and sit with us, and the lady started laughing loud over here, and I got real self-conscious, and I'm a mess, big old gut hanging out, I'm kidney damage and liver damage, I look like a snake that swallowed a dog, and the patch is crooked, and I got a big nasty full beard on. I'm wearing the same clothes I've been wearing for 3 days, and I'm a mess. And I got in, I got real self-conscious, and I said, I just can't do this. I'm detoxing, guys. I'm less than 24 hours away from suicide, and I gotta go. I'll see you later. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go detox, and I'll see you Monday. And this little girl, y'all hear the CDs out there all the time, snuck up behind. She says she did, and she did, damn it. She snuck up behind me, got on my blind side, and got her finger in my belt loop. And she said, sit down, cowboy, you're not going anywhere. The old lady across the room couldn't get to me, her sponsor, and she said, get him. And because this girl understood her primary purpose, she got me. She didn't sponsor me. I asked her, she said no. She stopped me from leaving the room. She got me a cup of coffee and a roll of paper towels to clean up my stupid mess. Chairperson looked around the room and said, man, we got a newcomer coming back. Why don't we go around tonight and tell him how our lives have changed as a result of working the steps? God, guys, do y'all realize how God was all over this with me? I ended up in a room full of people that absolutely understood that the newcomer was in the room and needed to hear something maybe like, oh my God, hopeful. Instead of your stupid war story. There's no chapter in the back of that book called End of Scare. There is a chapter called A Vision for You. Why don't we talk about that? Guys, they did. They loved me to death. They went around the room and just, God, the lady got her credit cards back, and there was a little girl in there who had been sober a little over a year, and she had a set of car keys, and she opened them up, and I'd been turned down for a car loan 3 weeks earlier, and it's like, oh my God. Lady at the end of the table had a sketch pad. She'd gone back to art school, and she was doing some sculpting, and she wanted to show me the stuff she was doing. I'm talentless, but I love art. And I go, oh my God. Less than 24 hours away from a suicide attempt, and these people gave me the one thing I needed, which was hope. God dang it. At the end of the meeting, they asked me if I wanted to stay sober a day at a time, and I said, absolutely. And I picked up my last chip. I didn't know it was going to be my last chip, but I picked it up. Didn't any more believe it would be my last chip than the man in the moon. I'd been in and out for so many years. And we did the Lord's Prayer. Keep coming back. And we're too good. And okay. I said it this morning. Our chief responsibility to the newcomer, Bill Wilson wrote, is an adequate presentation of the program. And keep coming back is not an adequate presentation of the program. I'll throw that out there. You know, it gives an idea that if you go to a bunch of meetings, you'll stay sober. If you're the real alcoholic, you will not stay sober. I'm not knocking meetings. You got to do that. Get a home group. Get a clan around you. I was on the way out and fast. And I got me a can of dip. I got it in my mouth like that. And two old guys came around. They got these old glasses. And they said, Chris, can you sit with us for a few minutes so we can visit? Let's find out why you can't stay sober. And they slid up next to me like that. And I said, no, I got to go. I got Kentucky Fried Chicken coming. I got to go. But you see, these old guys, they were supposed to go home and go to dinner with their wives. You follow? But they stayed after with me for about 10, 15 minutes to show me what the problem was. Chris, why can't you stay sober? It's not because you don't want this. And they asked me the question, that circle triangle I was stamping in y'all's books today. That circle triangle, they said, Chris, let's find out why you can't stay sober. I said, yeah, like all the psychiatrists I've been seeing for the last 7 years, now you bozos are going to tell me why I can't stay sober. They were not amused. Y'all follow? But they were sweethearts. They said, Chris, what's this 12 steps? What's this recovery piece? I said, there's 12 steps. He says, have you worked all 12 steps? I'm working the steps to the best of my ability. That means no. Okay? What's unity? Meetings. Fellowship. That's very good. They gave me a little check. Good job. What's service? They little exit. They just said, we won't even ask them. I asked the question. Chris, in 7 years in Alcoholics Anonymous, how many people have you sponsored? How many conferences like this? How many little groups have you helped put on? How many pots of coffee have you ever made? I'm a newcomer. I'm going to milk it. I'm the most important person here, remember? I said, Chris, if you'll work these steps at a pretty good clip and help us get active with service work, you'll never drink again as long as you live. And they qualified me. They talked to me about the physical craving, the mental deception. Guys, we weren't there 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most. And I went home that night with tears in my eyes because it dawned on me the obsession that what was finally wrong with me. I didn't have all these psychiatric disorders. I didn't have all this crazy shit that was going on. I have untreated alcoholism. When I take alcohol and take it away from my body, I get worse, not better. I come unglued at the seams. Nobody told me that. They just said, if you don't drink one day at a time, you'll be okay. You won't be. You'll jump off a goddamn bridge out here. Who in here thinks that we're offering you a solution to alcoholism that it requires you being miserable the rest of your life? That's hell on earth. But it's the picture that gets painted. Every day's a struggle. Shoot me now. It's just not my experience. I came back the next day and they started me on a first step. Again, we did that. We did third step prayer. They gave me a notebook. We started working on a fourth step. 2 weeks later, I've got a completed fourth step. Haven't done the fifth step. Sponsors out of town, but I'm already feeling the relief. I'm sitting on the tailgate of my truck up in North Texas, and it dawns on me the obsession's gone. It was 32 years ago, guys. Been through some great times in 32 years, and I've been through some crazy tough times in 32 years. Not once did I want to drink. There's a lot of power here, folks. You go into some of these meetings, all they want, I'm powerless over people, places, and things. That's absolute crap. It's ridiculous. I'm not. I get to choose who's going to be in my life today. I got some power in my life to get a cool job, be in a town I want to be in. We're not a bunch of victims, folks. This is about power. I'm powerless over alcohol. 32 years, I don't get up in the morning and choose not to drink. I got up this morning and chose to meditate like I've been doing for 32 years. Spend a little 5-10 minutes with God. I do it every morning. On the phone, some of you saw me on the phone. I got a couple of guys I sponsor. I gave them absolute instructions when I left Friday, just to be nice and don't screw anything up. They both didn't listen. And when they call, I'm on the phone. Okay, come on, let's go. And I sat and visited with them a little bit because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to sponsor some folks. I'm supposed to help. Oh my God. Never look back. I need to mention this real quick. But sometimes the noose around our neck is the sobriety we've got. Y'all have noticed that sometimes you got a little sobriety and you start to get complacent. I watch a lot of people come to treatment where I work, and a lot of people with multiple double-digit sobriety who ended up getting in trouble because they didn't do the same things they were doing when they first got to Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's just, there was this guy in a business deal ages and ages ago, about 2010, and I got a resentment against this guy and locked horns. I mean, this guy was a poot, okay? And every time I'd hear his name, I'd say, he's a poot. You follow? I talk crap about him, and just, you know, if one of my guys that I'm sponsoring did that, I'd eat his butt, you know. And but I'm okay because I'm 30 years sober. I can do that, you know. It's like, this is not okay. I'm sitting there in my AA meeting, and I'm sitting there by the door so I can watch and make sure from where I sit in my little AA group at the Ingram Solution Group, my outpost, I can see the coffee pot back here because I have to watch the guys that are making coffee. If y'all got a little AA group, don't let the meth heads make coffee. It's not personal. I'm not trying to be discriminative there, but we have to pay for that coffee. You don't put 7 packs in one little coffee pot. I'm watching them, paying attention, but I'll tell you what happened with me real quick. I'm sitting in this meeting, and this was just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sitting in this meeting, and I'm sitting there watching the coffee pot, and I look back up again, and this guy sits right across from me, and it's that guy that I've cussed for 10 years. He comes and sits down. Now, I've been sober for 10 years. He hasn't. He's been in and out of the program forever. He looks like hell. And Patty's sitting right next to me, and I leaned over and I said, is that? And she said, yes. And I'm thinking for just a second that I'm going to get to have some words with this guy. We're going to clean some shit up here. And I'm looking at this old man sitting across the way from me, shaking like a leaf. Obviously as uncomfortable as he can be sitting in that room. And I got the little bookcase right here, and I opened the little bookcase up because I got the key because I'm something special. And I got me a little big book out. It's a big book study, guys. Everybody's got a big book in their lap except him. And I grabbed the little big book and took it over to him and patted him on the shoulder, and he looked up and saw me. He looked like, and I just handed him the little big book and said, you might need this. And he smiled. And I set my little arrogant ass back down in my little seat and looked back across the way, and he's got tears in his eyes. He'd been harboring every resentment I was harboring against him, he had against me. And in one little second of me realizing that I'm talking to another human being, another alcoholic just like me, I got free like that. And so did he. Guys, don't think for a second that you're going to start growing in this program. Don't think you're going to get this perfect, but don't think for a second that you can outgrow this program, because you've got to do the same stuff that we did when we got in there. It's not okay to walk around with resentment. It's not okay to hate people. It's not okay to sit around and gossip about people. You're not going to stay sober. You're not going to have any kind of life like that. I just had to tell her myself. I'm sitting at birthday night about a 3 weeks ago. I've seen this a couple of times, but I'm sitting in this big old room. There's about 150 people in this AA group, and I'm looking back in the back, and I see one of the girls that came to the treatment center where I work, and I'm just looking back, and I see her. You know how you get where you see them, and you see that they see you? Y'all thought she ducked down like this. I mean, ducked down, like she almost hurt herself getting down below the of course, I'm laughing. I was like, what the fuck? And we did a little, we say stay in our group. We did a little Lord's Prayer and let go, and I'm watching, and she's starting to zig out this way, and I'm quick. For an old man, I'm quick. And I jammed over, and it got between her and the door, and I said, where are you going? What? And she said, God, and she was mortified, just embarrassed to death. We watched her for 2 years, in and out, and in and out, in big halfway houses locally. She'd come back, stays, leaves. Come back, stays, leaves. It's just... Let me tell you real quick. I don't give a rat's poot how many times you relapse. What I care about is that I see your little shining face come back through the doors one more time. You're embarrassed to death. You're full of shame. That's your stuff. You think that we don't love you if you're out there, what? You got to be sober before we can love you? We love you whether you're sober or not. You come back as many times as you need to. Don't be embarrassed with us, please. 7 years I sat in AA, picked up Desire chips. 7 years, never picked up a 30-day chip. I'm the last one that will ever judge anybody. I don't know what it's going to take. I asked this little girl, I said, what up? What are we going to do? What can I do? She's crying. Hugs my little neck. She's about skin rail. She said, I said, why? What? She said, Chris, I keep coming to these meetings. I just don't feel a part. I don't feel a part of all of this. You're not. Told her point blank. You're not. You believe because you're sitting in a meeting that you're a part of this? Come on, guys. How many of us have sat in a big old room like this and just been so lonely we could die? Completely isolated in our own head. Separated from the power that is God. There's no humanity there. There's no friendship there. There's no... And damn us as a fellowship when we allow that stuff to continue to happen. We sit there and write it off. Well, she's making meetings. I just told her straight. You're not a part. You want to be a part? Get active. You find a job in AA and you'll stay, folks. Those guys in 1987, when I walked in the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous, it was a Friday the 13th, and I got in and I picked up a chip, and they started working me through the steps. 2 weeks later, there was a group conscience at that AA group, and they said, Chris, we have an opening for chairman of the cleanup committee. And I said, what? I said, what? Because you think I'm in the food business? You're going to... I can. I mean, even without meth, I can clean a walk-in cooler better than anybody I've ever known. I am awesome. I am awesome. And they said, no, Chris, come to group conscience. If they nominate you, would you accept the job? I said, God damn. Yes, I guess so. And of course, I went to the group conscience. We have a nominee for the chairman of the cleanup committee, and everybody voted unanimously. Everybody in the place voted unanimously to get me as the chairman. I said, damn it. Okay, all right. After the meeting was over, I went to the guys, the poobas in the group, and I said, listen, would it be possible for to get a list of the committee that's on this cleanup so I can meet with them and we can get a schedule on how we're going to clean this place? Yeah, y'all know it before I do, yeah. That guy spit coffee halfway across the room like that. He said, you misunderstood. You are the committee. I got to tell you, I was a little butt sore about it too, you know. I mean, I thought I was going to have a staff, and here it is me. The next day, they gave me a key, a little ticket key to the building. And they said, just anytime you want to come in here and get started, you can do that. And that's what I did. I said, I'll show you. And I came in the next afternoon, and I set those chairs up perfect in line. Y'all follow how we did? I had a ruler on the table. Y'all follow? Everything got clean. Those nasty old coffee pots with shit growing in them. I cleaned all of that stuff up. Bathroom got clean. Meeting starts at 6 o'clock. About 5:30, I got a pot of coffee on in there, and I'm sitting in the back room waiting for the meeting to start. I'm done. I've been working for 3.5 hours in that room, and it looks good. Little lady walked in. I could smell her. She's the matriarch. She wears this perfume that's god awful. I can still smell it today. And she walked in like that, and I saw her. I knew it was her. And she walked in. She walked back there. And she went back towards the bathroom. I'm listening to her walk back, and it's just us in the room. She walked back over there. She got in the bathroom. I heard her scream, gasp. Oh my God! I was like, what? She stuck her little head back around the room like that and looked at me, and she said, did you clean this place? Yes, ma'am. And she walked around behind me like that, with them little bony arms of hers like that, little hook, and hooked me, got back, and just hooked her little arm around my neck, gave me a little back hug. She said, buddy, we need you. She actually called me baby. God dang it. Do y'all realize how long it had been since anybody had said, we need you? We need you to put your hands behind your back. That happened one time. There was a hotel in Dallas. We need you not to come in here anymore. I said, we need you not to call here? I'm a few weeks away from a suicide attempt, and now all of a sudden I'm realizing that I can actually be a part of something. And it was hard for me, as shy as I am, to be a part of that group, to sit at the big table, to come in and act like I'm a member instead of a guest. You start getting a job. The guys in Iceland said it, find a dragon to fight, or you'll fight yourself. This is what drives me crazy, guys. I loved it when you guys made the announcements early on, and you made the announcements. You know, if anybody's had some time with the steps and are willing to help somebody else, you didn't say, have you been sober 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Come on. There's no time. Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob started sponsoring like that. Get out there and be of service to somebody, and you can stay sober. We kill people in Alcoholics Anonymous when we allow them to come in and sit on their ass and gradually go crazy again and leave. And then we dust them off the side of the plate and say, well, she just didn't want it bad enough. He didn't want it. We got to get you in motion, guys. I'll say this and let you go. We have got to get everybody in this place active in the program. We got too many people sitting with clipboards around the trench watching a few of us do all the work. Enough of that nonsense. All hands on deck. The people that come to treatment centers, folks, and leave and don't get connected with groups like this, with active sponsorship, they get excited about working with others, they don't stay sober. This is not a theory. This is an absolute fact. I did statistical work for these hospitals for years. The people that leave and get connected, they stay sober. I don't give a poot what happened in their life. They do okay. The people that do treatment and leave and don't get connected, don't become a part of something, they don't stay sober. No exceptions. Not for the real alcoholic, not for the real little dope fiend. They're not going to stay sober. It's not optional, folks. One of my favorite Al-Anon quotes is this: we cannot drop out of human involvement without endangering our spiritual health. Guys, it means that we got to become a part of something. We got to be... When that little newcomer comes up and asks you, you're sitting in here and you got 6 months of sobriety, your sponsor's got you working on a 4-step maybe, or you're already making your amends, and then got the little newcomer coming in. Y'all know the little guy I'm talking about? Yeah. All the piercings, got a big plate in his ear. Yeah. We laugh about it. Every group's got one. He's got this vape out there that's so big you got to hold it with 2 hands. Guys, it's too big. If you've got a vape like that, it's too big. He's out there smoking. All you can see is 2 skinny little legs poking out there and all the smoke around like that. Yeah. When that guy comes up to you and says, do you think maybe you could help me in the step? I need a sponsor. Say yes. If I find out that you said this, if you find out, Jack, if they ask you and you say, I don't know, I'll ask my sponsor, I'll find you and punish you. Come on, guys, quit. The Big Book has already told you 123 places in the first 88 pages to go help another alcoholic. Book's telling you over and over, you can't grow spiritually unless you go work with another alcoholic. Pull your head out of your butt, selfish, self-centered to the core butt, and go see who you can help. Go make a pot of coffee. Go pick up the cigarette butts outside that people keep flipping on the ground and keep getting us kicked out of every goddamn church out there. Go pick up some cigarette butts. They're not my cigarette butts. I don't care. Go pick them up. Go do something to be of service. And you'll never look back. It's the greatest show on earth, guys. Be a part of this. Last, I'm leaving. This is the quote. I read one earlier that this is not in the Big Book. This is not AA conference approved literature, okay, guys? Some of you little dope fiends, you'll be up all night long looking for this. It is. All jacked up on that damn coffee. Oh my God. And those, what do you call them? Those crow nut things? Crow nuts? Like a crow nut? What? What are they? No, it's like crack. If any of you guys ate one of those, we're going to give desire chips up here in a minute ago, and you can just... Here, listen to this. This Lady Jane Howard. I don't know who she is. She's passed away, though, I checked. But it's a great quote. Call it a clan, call it a network, call it a tribe, call it a family. Whatever you call it, whoever you are, you need one. Yeah, me too. Oh, my God. For the first time in my life, in 1987, I got to be a part of a group, men and women, that I take a bullet for. I spent 7 years in AA hating everybody that walked through the door. And when I got off my butt and began to participate, I got to be a part of something that was so huge and so big it wasn't even funny. Changed my life forever. Every single one of you in here that has come in here and stayed, thank you so much. Every one of you that screwed up your courage and came back in the door, thank you so much. Because I'm going to tell you, we need every single one of you. That spiritual warfare that tells you you're a worthless piece of shit and that you're not sober long enough and you can't help anybody because you can't help yourself. Don't listen to that crap. Every single one of you are going to be allowed to help. All you got to do is suit up and show up, and when that little knucklehead comes and asks you to be of service, say yes. You can say, I hate you, I don't want to do it, I don't care what you do after that, just do it. And you'll be a part of this thing forever. Thanks so much for letting me come, guys.
We usually form a line afterwards and thank our speaker. Do it to the best of our ability. Don't forget the meeting after the meeting. If you want to get some service, this group is all inclusive and never exclusive. Get with us afterwards. We're all rock bottom drunks like everybody that walked in the store. Trust me. All right, well, I guess we'll just hold hands where we're at. You got absolutely no room. Try not to breathe during this Lord's Prayer. Take a moment of silence for the still suffering alcoholic. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.